A very good morning to one and all. I'm Mamta, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering. Welcomes all the faculties, research scholars, and students from different colleges and universities for the 1 week webinar on challenges in civil engineering, organized by Department of Civil Engineering (EWIT) in association with Civil Engineering Association and Indian Concrete Institute (BENC) Student Chapter Bangalore. I would also like to welcome today's speaker, Dr. Pradeep. So I welcome you, sir. Now I request Dr. Shashekar TR, Associate Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, EWIT, to give a brief introduction about today's speaker. Sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mamta Madam. It's my privilege to welcome Dr. Pradeep R. Dr. Pradeep R. completed his MBBS and PGDD and AFIH, and he is working as occupational physician. Dr. Pradeep works for TTP Technologies Private Limited as a factory medical officer. He also works for MPP Technologies Private Limited as a factory medical officer. He is also resident doctor at Siddhartha Medical College, Tumkur, and he has his own clinic called as Vinayaka Polyclinic, Tumkur. He does a general practice there. And he is also a member of IMA Indian Medical Association, and he has successfully run both the factories, TTP as well as MPP Technologies, during lockdown also. From March, April, we had lockdown throughout the country. During this time also, he successfully run both the factories and without any cases, he ran that time also. And before, the central government brought some standard operating procedures to contain the spread of COVID-19. Well before that, he implemented that in his factory and he successfully contained that. I welcome on behalf of Department of Civil Engineering, East West Institute of Technology, Dr. Pradeep R. for this webinar series. And once again, I welcome Dr. Pradeep to present the talk on COVID-19 and occupation. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much, Shashi Shekhar. I'm audible, no?
You're audible.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Start screen sharing, sir.
Okay. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Pradeep R., an occupational physician. We'll be talking to you on COVID-19 and occupation. I'm going to share few of my views on this COVID-19 and occupation. I hope all of you are safe. Okay. So when it comes to occupation, there are so many kinds, like software engineers, like police personnel, doctors, paramedics, and municipal workers. Some of the occupations require we have to be present at the workplace. Whereas like software engineers, teachers, they can do online coaching, online classes, and they can be at home. Okay. So let us see how this COVID-19 is going to affect the whole mankind and what are the precautions to be taken. While attending to work. I hope you all by now know so many things regarding this COVID-19, and through social media and through televisions, and we have so much scared and we don't know what to do. But in this situation, we don't need to panic, but we have to follow some of the guidelines given by the government, and we will be safe. Okay. what is this COVID-19? Why are we so scared so much? Because it has become pandemic. In March 2020, WHO has proclaimed this COVID-19 as pandemic. There are so many terminologies in our healthcare system regarding this pandemic, like endemic, epidemic, pandemic. What is this endemic? This endemic is something, is an infectious disease or a disease which belongs to particular people or particular country. So it will not be spreading to any other regions or other countries, but it will be there and it will be spreading in that area only. For example, malaria, which will be more in African countries and in India. What about epidemic? Epidemic is a disease. It is a disease that affects large number of population or people within the region, or it does not cross international boundaries, and it affects so many people. Like for example, cholera, measles, yellow fever, like that. Then comes to pandemic. What is this pandemic? Pandemic is defined as epidemic occurring worldwide or over a wide area crossing international boundaries, affecting large number of people. So why this has become pandemic? Why COVID-19 has become pandemic? Because it has reached almost 213 countries and territories, and almost 1.3 crores confirmed cases are there, COVID positive cases are there, and there are around 5.7 lakh deaths occurred worldwide as on 12th July 2020. So what is the meaning of this COVID-19? So COVID-19 is a disease caused by a new strain of coronavirus. So it is a new disease. There are so many strains in the family of coronavirus, but it is a new strain which has affected the humans so much, it has become pandemic. So CO means corona, VI means virus, and D for disease. So formerly it was known as 2019 novel coronavirus or 2019 nCoV. So, and it belongs to the same family of coronavirus that has caused severe acute respiratory syndrome in 2012. So what is this coronavirus? It has got large family of viruses that's known to cause illness ranging from common cold to severe disease like SARS and MERS. SARS was transmitted from civet cats to humans in China in 2002. Whereas Middle East respiratory syndrome was transmitted from camels to humans in Saudi Arabia in 2012. So where does this COVID-19 virus come from? So it was suspected to spread from seafood market at Wuhan in China. There was a spillover event in which virus which was circulated in the animals get found transmitted to humans. Why this is happening? Because of overpopulation, because of climate change, urbanization, consumption of semi-cooked food, and so many other things. Nowadays, around 70 to 80% emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases are known to be of zoonotic origin. Because of so many reasons, urbanization, have already told you. So how does this COVID-19 spread? Like the virus is transmitted directly, direct contact with respiratory droplets of infected person generated through coughing and sneezing. And individuals who also can get infected from touching the surfaces contaminated with the virus and touching their faces. Okay, the virus can survive on the surface for several days, several hours to several days, depending on favorable conditions, whether depends on the surface, depending on the temperature. But simple disinfectant with 70% alcohol can kill this virus. Okay. So there are so many scientific evidence regarding this virus transmission. So the risk of transmission is very much low through surface. If you touch the surface and touches your face, the risk is very low. Whereas, and also the risk is very low low of transmission from outdoor activities because the air will be present, so the virus gets dispersed. But whereas there is a high chance of transmission from gatherings in closed spaces like offices, religious places, cinema halls, gyms, and theaters. So, what does it take to infect? What are the virus particles required to infect? To successfully infect a person, the virus needs a dose of 1,000 virus particles. So, when we breathe, we spread around 20 virus particles per minute. While speaking, we spread 200 virus particles per minute. So, if it is from an infected person. While coughing and sneezing, we transmit around 200 millions of virus particles. Okay, that is the reason that when we cough or sneeze, we have to keep a tissue or we have to use our elbow while coughing or sneezing. Okay. Then what is the incubation period of COVID-19? Because it varies from 0 to 14 days. When when a person gets infected, the symptoms may start from 2 to 14 days. And when there is no symptoms, he is called as asymptomatic, but he will be infecting up to 14 days of infection. After that, immunity will be, he gets immunity and he will be immune for this virus infection. So whereas in case of mild to moderate symptoms, when the symptoms start up to 14 days, you will be transmitting the virus. Depending on the severity, the contagiousness will be present. Okay. What are the risk assessments? Up to 30% of the cases are asymptomatic, whereas 55% are mild to moderate symptoms, whereas 10% reported to be severe and 5% report to be critical, out of which 2 to 3% mortality rate occurs. Whereas in case of India, the mortality rate is around 2.71% for this COVID-19. So it is way lower than the SARS and MERS coronavirus. Okay, as I have told, that symptoms may appear from early 2 days to 14 days of exposure. So then, what are the symptoms of this COVID-19? It varies from mild fever, cough, difficulty in breathing, fatigue, sore throat, muscle pain, body pain or headache, congestion, running nose, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, loss of smell, loss of taste, and so many things. And sometimes it can be fatal also. So it looks like similarly of a flu or a common cold. That's why we cannot able to differentiate between it is a COVID-19 or a common cold or a flu. That's why we need to test the person whether he is positive or for COVID-19 or not. So how do we prevent this virus from being exposed? Simple things, we have to maintain a social distance of 6 feet. And we need to regularly wash our hands if we are touching the surfaces. And wherever soap water is not available, we can sanitize our hands with minimum 70% alcohol containing sanitizer. And routinely clean and disinfect frequently touch the surfaces. And we have to cover our nose, mouth with face covering, that is face mask. So we now learned about COVID-19. Then we talk about how it is going to affect our workplaces. So their workplaces may experience a lot of changes during this COVID-19 pandemic. So there may be absenteeism of the workers. Why they'll be abstaining from the work? They may be afraid of getting exposure to this virus, or there may be they may themselves be sick, or some of the family members get sick out of it. So the workers may afraid of coming to work. And there may be change in pattern also, like the consumer demands for this infection prevention respirators, sanitizers, uh, uh, items may increase, whereas consumer interest for other goods may decline. So, and there may be interrupted supply of raw material from other countries where the COVID-19 has severely affected, or there may be cancellation of the raw material also. That's why it is going to affect so many factories or companies, affecting the factories. So, what are the steps employers need to take to reduce the risk of exposure to this COVID-19 virus? So, they should develop an infectious disease preparedness and response plan. What is the preparedness? We have to prepare if some worker gets disease, what are the plans? How to prevent workers from being exposed to the virus? There should be some plan to prevent and control the disease. Okay, so there are sources of COVID-19 virus where workers get exposed. They'll be going to the general public where they can get exposed, and some of the customers can visit our facility. There maybe some international customers where they can expose to this virus, and the co-workers may become sick of this COVID-19. So the workers and the sick individuals are at a high risk of infection. And the non-occupational risk factors are at home. Some of the family members get infected with this COVID-19, or in community settings where they will be meeting the public or people or relatives where they can easily expose to this virus. So there should be a plan, and they should be educating workers regarding all those things. So workers are also at individual risk. Maybe the worker may be a old age, and he may be having some chronic comorbid conditions like diabetes, hypertension, and they themselves may be immunocompromising like HIV, and some of them females may be pregnant also, where immunity will be less during this pregnancy. Okay, so what are the how to prevent this basic prevention being exposed to the virus? We have to plan like what to do and what not to do. Like what to do, we have to make 2 meters the social distance between the workers, or when we are talking or when we are in meeting, we have to make minimum 2 meters distance between the 2 workers, and we have to keep frequently washing our hands with soap and water. Then if you want to cough or sneeze, we have to put our elbow and sneeze or cough. So that if we use our hands, we may touch again with the nose, or we may give hands to the worker, shake hands with the workers, or we may put again to the nose and eyes. Reinfection may occur. So and we have to use tissue while coughing or cleaning our face or something like that. And we have to leave whenever there is a meeting. We have to leave one chair and sit there, and we have to cover with the face mask. And what should not be done in this situation? We do not do handshake, or there should not be any hugging. We have to maintain social distance, and we should not keep touching our nose, eyes, mouth, and we should not be in a crowded lifts. If you want to go in a crowded place and crowded lift, we have to turn to the wall and stand like that. And avoid touching the office surfaces while you are walking, and you should avoid all crowded spaces. And if you are ill or sick, you have to stay home. Okay. So how to implement workplace controls? You already might be knowing that hierarchy of control. First, elimination, engineering controls, administrative controls, then comes the PPE. So what is this elimination? How to eliminate this virus? We cannot eliminate virus from like this. We have to eliminate the workers from being exposed. How to eliminate? It is easy. We should make lockdown. Nowadays, government in March they have lockdown, and the virus infection rate was very low. When they take back the lockdown, infection spread like that, and again they have made a lockdown in Bangalore and some of the cities. So elimination of the virus, like software engineers, teachers, they can work from home so that they can eliminate the virus being exposed to COVID-19. Okay. Then comes the engineering controls. What are the engineering controls? Like isolating workers or employees from work-related hazards. Work-related like being exposed to the COVID-19. What are the engineering controls? Installing high-efficiency air filters. So air filters should have they should have air filters, filtering the air, and virus can also get filtered. Then increase the ventilation rates in the working environment. Then installing the barriers between the workers. If at all, if you cannot eliminate the workers from the place being exposed or standing in front of them, make a barrier like plastic sneeze guard or guard, so that they can, if they sneeze also there is a barrier so that we can prevent spreading of the disease. And we can have a specialized negative pressure ventilation where some of aerosol generating procedures in case of OT, operation theaters, in hospitals or in autopsy centers where there will be aerosol generating procedures will be there. So that their negative pressure, the air will be sucked and virus gets filtered so that we can prevent from being exposed to the virus. So then comes to the administrative controls. How to manage those things? If the workers is sick individual, let them stay home and get cured for this disease. And minimizing contact with the workers or co-customers by replacing with virtual communications, by online virtual communications. Then giving workers alternate day shifts so that extra work, extra shifts, so that we have to reduce total number of the workers present at the facility in a given time. So so easily we can be able to make the social distance and we can prevent being exposed to the virus. So, and then discontinuing non-essential travels, abroad, for example, international travels, we can able to prevent all those things, and telling our customers not to come to our facility during this time. We can able to do all those things. And providing the workers with up-to-date education and training programs regularly regarding this PPEs, or how to do social distancing, how to wear face mask, all those things we can be able to educate them properly. And we have to regularly train the workers regarding how to wear the cloth, how to use the face mask, how to take it out, how to dispose it, how to wear it properly, how to consistently wear those PPEs and all, how to dispose it as it becomes a biomedical hazard. Those who touches that face mask, they can able to spread it again to workers who are touching those discarded material. So then comes how to make safe work practices. Like I have told all these measures, and frequently telling them to make personal hygiene. So we have recommended so many things to implement in our facilities, from giving hot water to the workers, and making, while in canteen we have to not to sit oppositely, we have to sit with 2 meters distance in the canteen, and providing sanitizers everywhere in the facilities, and providing all signboards, not to contact with sick individuals. If anybody is sick in the family, inform authorities so that they can able to test for COVID-19 and give some treatment so that they can recover fast. And we can give so many things. And another thing is providing them some incentives to buy purchase sanitizers and face mask in the home, and putting signboards for washing their hands, face regularly. We have done so many things in our facilities, and we will be doing to prevent all those things from even better, to make it better for work. Okay. Then comes the last thing. We don't think this personal protective equipment is considered as a last resort for control measures, because if we eliminate hazard in administrative and engineering controls, we need not to wear this personal protective equipment, as it may cause some of the health hazards for the workers. Like if you regularly use for 8 hours wearing face mask, they might get sick of this. Again, they'll be consuming carbon dioxide. There may be a lot of health issues also. That's why we keep this as a last resort. If all the measures fails, then we have to wear personal protective equipment. For COVID-19, this is a must, because if we will be going out, we will be facing so many people. We cannot, with social distance and all, we cannot able to control the disease. We have to wear face mask, face shield, gloves, like that. So we have to provide workers with all those materials like personal gloves, goggles, face shield, face mask, respiratory protection. So all these types of face mask selected based on the hazard at the workplace, like how they are exposed, what they have to wear, whether they're high, like whereas if they are working in hospitals, they have to wear full body PPEs. Where if they are working in a manufacturing industry like our industry, we screen every employee for temperature, oxygen saturation, pulse rate for everyone while entering the facility. We are doing so much, but in spite of this, we are keeping the better place for workers in our facility. But if they go out of the facility, they may catch this virus. We will be keep on educating them. In spite of that, here and there cases will emerge, but we have to manage these things properly. So, and this regarding this PP, we have to tell them how to dispose, how to wear this consistently, how they get exposed to this virus. We should educate them regarding PPEs, and they should properly dispose the PPEs also. And it should be regularly inspected whether it is defective or not, and it should be replaced properly. Okay. And here comes all control, finished my all control measure. So what are the social distancing guidelines at work? So I already told regarding meetings, like if you can eliminate meetings, we can do all virtual meetings, online meetings, or we can contact with them over phone or through emails and all. If you cannot avoid meetings, the meetings with all social distancing measures, PPEs, and the meeting should be short, within 5 minutes, because the virus requires minimum 5 minutes of interaction with the COVID-19 positive patients. That's why it should be less than 5 minutes of your meeting, and cut down all the international travels for visiting facility or customers in anything. And the non-essential meeting should be avoided, and even workshops, training programs, all should be avoided or postponed. And do not congregate at the workplace rooms anywhere. We should be like, if you have a facility where you can stand outside and talk, you can able to talk with megaphones, so that we can make all social distance, wearing face masks, stand outside and able to educate them. Like we are doing this when the COVID-19 started February or March only. We are educating so much. And better if you bring your own lunch or breakfast to your desk and eat it there only, and take it to the house properly. And avoid all public transport. Public transport, better use your own vehicle for traveling to work facility or your factory or wherever you want. And if you cannot able to avoid this thing, or you are traveling with the company provided vehicles, wear face mask and leave the one seat between the worker and sit properly. And do not use AC, better use all open windows so that the air can be circulated properly. And you should limit your recreational and leisure classes, meeting activities, all those things where they come contact with the asymptomatic COVID carriers, so that spread can occur. So here I have finished regarding COVID-19 and occupation. I'm going to highlight some of the things which are required during this COVID-19 pandemic time. So like with this COVID-19, mainly it is an immunity disorder. I mean, like if your immunity is very low, it is going to affect you severely. If your immunity is strong, it is not going to affect you severely. So what should we take during this time? So don't use non-vegetarian food or improperly cooked food. Better to go for vegetarian diet. Like if you consume lot of vitamin C containing citrus fruits, vitamin D containing supplements, zinc containing supplements, vitamin B complex, and we have to consume lot of and frequently consume hot water, because the virus, we have thought that the virus is going to reside in our throat and nose. If you consume hot water, hot water may kill the virus and you may not having the virus contact at all. It is a theory, but it is proving to be a very good solution. And heat fruits and lot of fruits and vegetables. And they are telling you can drink milk with turmeric powder also. There is nothing dispute about this. You can consume whatever they tell, and it should not harm your health, because we have seen that it has caused so many deaths and all. So if you consume for betterment of your health, anything is good. So what kind of mask we should wear? Like whether we have to wear N95 mask for everyone. Everyone should wear N95 mask, or surgical mask is enough, or even cloth mask is enough. Like N95 mask is only for the doctors and paramedics who are treating COVID-19 patient or who comes in contact with COVID-19 patients. So other than this, nobody should wear this N95 mask. And surgical mask and FFP1 mask give similar protection to N95 mask regarding the virus protection. Like 3-layered surgical mask gives same protection of 95% compared to N95 mask. So better other people who are not treating COVID-19 patients can wear surgical mask or FFP1 mask. And even 3-layered cloth mask can be wear, but it should be washed daily and properly used, so that it will protect you from the virus. So, who should wear the mask? Whether everybody should wear the mask or only the COVID-19 carrier must wear the mask? No, both of the patient or everybody should wear the mask, because if the COVID carrier is not wearing the mask and the other person who is not infected is wearing the mask, the probability of getting infected is 70%. If COVID carrier is wearing the mask, other person is not wearing, then the chances of getting the infection is 5%. Whereas COVID-19 carrier and both of them are wearing the mask, chances are very less, up to 1% chances are getting infection. So better everybody should wear the mask, and and it should not be wear to your chin or beard or mouth. It should be wear to your nose, and it should be plugged properly, so that virus should not enter from upside or lower side also. I'm coming to the end of this session. Thank you all for listening to my lecture. Thank you so much. Stay home, stay safe, and don't panic regarding this COVID-19. We are going to get more cases, but we should not panic, but we have to take all the measures so that we should be safe all the time. Thank you.
So I request participants, if there are any questions, you can put it in the chat box. So doctor will try to answer them. In meantime, Dr. Pradeep sir, thank you for giving us a wonderful talk about COVID-19, how to reduce the spread of this COVID-19, what are the precautionary measures to be taken in the workplaces, and what are the dietary requirements, supplements, and all these things. Thank you, sir. Let us see if any questions are there. I'll just read out, sir. There's one question from Ashwini. If we get cough, is it problematic now?
No. Like cough may be for different reasons. There may be a bacterial infection also. You may not be a COVID-19 infected patient. Like COVID, we have to rule out whether other bacterial infections are there or not. Then we can able to tell it is a bacterial infection, and we can able to treat them. Like if the cough is not subsiding for more than 1 week with all the antibiotics, then we can go for a COVID-19 test and confirm it. Then we will be able to tell it is not a COVID or it is a bacterial infection. Is it okay? Okay.
Yeah, sir, there's one more question. Is it true that if we are infected with coronavirus, it's good as antibodies will develop and we may not get it again?
No, there are so many studies. Recent one was it will protect you for 3 months, but it was not peer reviewed. But previously they were telling it will give immunity for lifelong. Then they told that it will give for 1 year. Now they are telling 3 months. But we cannot. It is a new disease. We cannot able to exactly tell whether it is going to give you protection for lifelong or not. As the time passes, we can able to tell that. Until then, we cannot able to tell it will give immunity for lifelong, and there is no evidence that it will give immunity for lifelong.
Okay, sir. There is one more question, sir. How we prevent against COVID-19 in home?
I don't think so. If at all, if anybody is infected with COVID-19, there is no precaution to be taken in the home. If anybody is infected, then you have to take precautions. If everybody is okay, nobody is infected in your home, be like normal, nothing, no action to be taken. If at all, if you want to go outside to bring some vegetables or any other material for house activities, then you have to take the actions. Like if you bring vegetables, they are telling that you have to wash it properly, keep it aside for 4 to 6 hours, clean it with baking soda or something, salt, then use it properly. And again, you have to wash your hands with soap and water. That is fine. For a person living with your family, there need not to be take any action. Just leave it normally. Don't use mask, sanitizers. Don't wash your hands regularly. But if outsider is visiting your house, then you have to be very careful. Don't allow anybody, relatives, any friends, anyone to your house, except your family members. That's all.
Okay. How about people staying in apartments? What precautions should we take?
Like apartment people are taking so much care that they're checking their temperature while leaving into the apartment, means letting them into the apartment. But same thing, there is no such thing that precautions to take in the house. It is same as staying in home also. Same thing, don't allow anybody to come into your house. Careful if they are visiting to your house, if they are sick, like cough, cold is there, make social distance. Don't allow them to enter your house. If they enter your house, wear mask, let them not to stay for long. That's all.
Okay. Sir, there's one question. Sir, continuous wearing of mask, is it a problem for brain? That means oxygen supply to the brain.
Yeah, definitely. That's why limit your wearing of mask. That's why I'm telling you that don't wear mask in house also. Somebody told me that they will be wearing mask in the house also. No, in the house nobody will be infected with COVID-19. No need to wear the mask. If at all, if you are in a room where the ventilation is good and nobody is there, no need to wear the mask, and it affects brain also, because you will be consuming carbon dioxide which you have left out. The oxygen supply for the brain will be reduced, and it causes so many problems. So you may get headache and so many other things.
So there is a question. At what stage or a day of common fever, cold, cough, we have to consult the doctor nowadays? That means he may be asking at what stage we should be worried about whether we are infected with COVID-19 or not.
No, it's not like that. We should worry immediately. So nowadays, lockdown, social distance, everywhere they are following. Bacterial infection have reduced drastically. Only we are getting chemist also should not give any medicine to patient who is having fever, or notify immediately to the government if they are having fever, cough and cold. And chemist also is having should notify to the government by entering their name and mobile number if they are having all these symptoms. And if you visit a clinic, their doctor should notify to the government if you are suspected COVID-19 or you are having cough, cold or symptoms like that. So coming to your point, if you are having fever, like if it for more than a week, suppose if it is not coming down in spite of having treated for your bacterial infection and everything, and the fever is not coming down, you should immediately consult for COVID-19 test. You should, if you are having any respiratory problems, you should immediately consult a doctor, get COVID test done. Because we are seeing that now, previously they were telling that up to 20 days incubation period will be there. The symptoms may start after 14 days, 20 days. It is not like that. Nowadays we are seeing that if you are within 1 week, the symptoms will be starting, and if you are severely affected, breathing problem immediately starts. That's why you should not wait for like for 1 week, 2 weeks or like that. You should immediately consult a doctor, get a treatment, and if it is not coming down, immediately get it done for COVID. Should not
Sir,
wait.
Okay.
Not wait
Sir,
for.
there is a question.
Yeah.
If you are suffering from dust allergy, is there any chances of COVID attack suddenly?
No. It is not like that. If you are following all the control measures like social distance, you are using face mask, not in contact with any COVID positive patients, no need to worry. But season is like that. You will get exposed to dust, and you will get repeated attacks of wheeze and cough, cold. But you will be staying at home, and you will not exposed to dust also. The symptoms will not be more for this respiratory problems, for asthma and the COPD. So I don't think there will be a problem with COVID, this COPD or asthma patients.
Okay. So there is a question. Does all the kashayas, as informed in social media, will develop immunity against this virus?
No. I don't tell you, but I don't dispute also, because whichever good thing is there, you consume it and prevent COVID-19. Because this is a new disease, there is no definite treatment also. So whichever gives relief, you consume it, and it should not harm your health. That is fine. Like I have told you, you drink turmeric powder. It is also helpful, because I have read that turmeric has got antiviral property. So that's why I have told that you can consume turmeric with milk with turmeric. Okay. Whereas come to kashaya, like it is made up of the chekke, lavanga, menasu, like that. Like daily we will be using for cooking also. So there is no harm to our health. You can consume the kashaya, nothing bad about it.
Okay. So there are a lot of questions coming up. I think if you have time, you can answer, sir. Whenever you let us see how many questions we can answer. There's one more question. Sir, if you are suffering from dust allergy, is there any chances of COVID attack? That I think you have answered, sir. If you are suffering from cold allergy and sinus is there, is there any chances of COVID attack? I think it's the same question as previous. How to take care of small baby during this time, because even a small cough to a baby fears a lot.
Okay, like mother, the mother and child will be isolated from the environment and other peoples also. Like they'll be staying in the home. They won't be exposed to the COVID positive or COVID-19 patients. Like if anybody is having symptoms or any relative is visiting your place, avoid them. Better not to visit their places until this COVID-19 season goes out. Anybody can visit. So the mother and baby is isolated from all the person who are visiting. So there is no need to worry about being exposed to the virus.
Okay, sir. What extra care we can take for kids below 5 years old? How to boost up their immunity?
One thing. Okay, the severity of the disease are the least affected person are the children, because we have seen that the children are not affected more, even though they may get the infection, but they are not affected. There is no death rate among children. They have got immunity because they are immunized for all the viruses, apart from all the viruses which are like government has given that IPV injections, measles vaccines, tuberculosis vaccines, MMR vaccines, all those vaccines, they have protected these children from getting virus infection, severity of the virus infection. So protecting a child is like same, isolating child from a person not visiting them, or need not to worry at all if you are isolated from others.
Okay. So there is
Okay.
one question.
Hmm.
When sanitizer with alcohol kills virus,
Hmm.
why most of the doctors advise not to consume alcohol?
Okay, like so this is a respiratory infection. COVID-19 is a respiratory infection. You cannot inhale alcohol and kill the virus. Okay, you are consuming to your stomach, and if the virus is consumed to your stomach, it gets killed by the acid produced in the stomach. Okay, the same thing. So it is a respiratory. It affects the respiratory system. Our respiratory system is different from GIT. So there is no point consuming alcohol will defend your COVID-19 because this alcohol has got you maybe it lessens your immunity power and it reduces your B complex level if you are not consuming your food properly. So it may affect immunity. So immunity is all about COVID-19. Then COVID-19 chances of infecting is more and affecting is more if you consume alcohol and even cigarette smoking also. And even the old age people are affected more because the immunity is very less in old age people. And whatever the vaccines they have taken will be up to 40, 50 years. After 50 years, the vaccine antibodies will also be lessened. That's why the severity is more among young, old age people and with comorbid conditions like diabetes, hypertension, and so many immune compromising conditions also.
Okay. Sir, there is another question. What are the different tests we see that they say about rapid test and other tests? What are the different tests which are available for COVID-19?
Okay, I missed out this part particularly because there is only one test, RT-PCR, and I have missed out the treatment also because I don't want to dispute that. So if you are sick, go to government hospital or private hospital and take treatment there only. Because I don't want to dispute if I telling you take this that it will help you out. I'm not going to dispute that. Better you visit hospital, get treated there itself. Coming to the treatment aspect, there is only one test which is genuine and which is 100% sure that it gives 100% results, and sensitivity specificity also is very good, that is RT-PCR, rapid test polymerase chain reaction. Okay, that is definitive test. Wherever this test is done, 100% that is positive will be there or negative will be there. And other tests like IgG ELISA method is there. That is only for ICMR has approved only for camp purposes. Like in our factory there are some 100 people. If we check for them whether they are infected, the herd immunity is there. We can able to know herd immunity is there or herd transmission has taken place or not there. That is for IgG ELISA method. And another test is there, card method test is there. That is IgG IgM. So, if you are infected with COVID-19, your immunity like IgM starts at the infection level itself, and it lasts for up to 20 days. After 7 days, IgG starts. Okay, this test detects your IgM and IgG antibodies in your blood levels. So, and it is not definitive test. Somebody will be having more antibodies, somebody will be having less antibodies. And if you are asymptomatic carrier, you will be spreading, but the immunity also will be less. If you are severely affected, your immunity also will be more. That's why we are finding it difficult to say you will get lifelong immunity, you will get 3 months immunity, you will get 1 year immunity. Only 3 tests are 2 tests approved by ICMR. This card method is not approved by ICMR because false positive for sensitivity, specificity is not there for this method. That's why better get it RT-PCR is the definite test, and IgG ELISA method, that is only for camp purpose and wherever to see whether you are infected or not. That is for that purpose only.
Sir, last two questions. One is about is this a airborne disease? Can it
Like,
spread through?
uh, depending on your favorable favorable conditions like temperature, it has become airborne to some extent, because in case of aerosol generating procedures, in case of OT and autopsies or any other places where there is aerosol generating procedure is there, the virus can be carried by these aerosols and can spread, but it is not an airborne disease. But aerosols can carry this virus for long distance and can spread. That is the thing. It is not an airborne.
Okay. Sir,
Okay.
one final question. Sir, many of us, it's my question only, many of us get confused with asymptomatic. We generally are. Please, can you tell what do you mean by that?
Okay, up to 35% of the infected person are asymptomatic. Okay, they will be not be having any symptoms, but they will be carrying the virus within. Okay, they will be spreading the disease, but they won't be having any symptoms, even fever, cough, cold, nothing will be there. But they will be spreading the disease. Up to 14 days, they'll be spreading the disease. Some recent articles have shown me that it will spread to up to 2 months. I don't know. And it is spreading in GIT. If you have any GER, they have told that it will spread from your gastrointestinal tract also. But asymptomatic carrier is no symptoms, but he will be carrying the virus and he will be spreading to other person unknowingly. Is it fine?
Yeah, yes, sir. I'll take last one question, sir. Sir, some doctors say that corona will not kill people, but people who have health issues already are very difficult to survive. Is this true?
No. Recently, some old woman aged about 90 or 100, she has survived this COVID-19 disease. But depending on your immunity, like in old age, immunity will be less, and it affects your immune system. And if at all if he is having hypertension, diabetes, again the immunity drastically decreased. So it affects you, and the fatality rate is also more among old people. So, immunity is the main reason for killing the fatality rate is more among old age people. And infection is also more among them. But some of them have survived disease, and even it has got willpower, even with your willpower also. And if you do meditation, pranayama, yoga, all those things also benefits you in fighting this COVID-19. If you are healthy throughout your life, it will support you in fighting COVID-19.
Okay, sir. There are a few more questions, but I'll not take all the questions now. On behalf of Department of Civil Engineering, East West Institute of Technology, I thank you, sir. I thank on behalf of participants. Gupta sir, can you talk or shall I continue?
Sir, continue ಮಾಡಿ sir, the network problem ಏನೋ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ.
I'll continue. I thank Dr. Pradeep for giving a wonderful talk on COVID-19 in occupation, how in the workplaces this COVID-19 can spread, and what are the precautionary measures we should take in order to stop the spread of this COVID-19. And also, he has given us clarified many doubts what people have asked, participants have asked. There are a few more questions, but I think it will not be possible for all the questions to be taken. On behalf of the Department of Civil Engineering, I thank you, sir. Thank you once again for giving us a wonderful speech, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. On behalf of the organizing committee also, I thank one and all. Over to Mamta madam.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pradeep, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for giving us more information about the prevention and the precautionary measures on COVID-19, which is spreading throughout the world. I guess this webinar would have helped the participants to a great extent, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, we will end the program here, so we can leave this. Okay. So the link will be shared in the chat box for the feedback session. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, Dr. Pradeep.
Thank you, Shishikar.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, all the participants, the link will be shared in the chat box, so you can just submit the feedback for today's session. And I thank all the participants to participate in today's webinar. Thank you.